Okay, let's play a little game. Remember when? And just for this, let's say the date is January 29th, 2026.
Got it. I'm in the future.
So look back a few years. You're trying to open a bank account online, maybe sign a lease. What's the feeling you remember?
Oh, frustration. Absolute pull your hair out frustration.
Exactly. It was just chaos, right? You're in your kitchen trying to get the lighting just for a photo of your passport.
And there's always a glare on your name. Always.
Yeah.
Then you're scanning PDFs. They're too big. You're Googling how to compress a PDF.
And the passwords, don't forget the passwords. You finally get it all uploaded and it's like, which version of my dog's name plus the number one did I use for this portal?
It was the digital version of fumbling for your keys in the dark. Every single time.
It really was. But the reason we're talking about this today is because we are, right now, living through the death of all that friction.
We are. We have a white paper here from Signaturit Group called Building the Future of Digital Trust in a Connected Europe. And it makes this huge claim that the whole era of clunky and risky is over. It's being replaced by seamless and secure.
That's a bold claim. Usually more security means more friction, right? More checkboxes.
That's the old way of thinking. What Signaturit is arguing is that we've hit this convergence point. Three massive forces are all hitting at once.
Okay, what are they?
First, regulation, and that's mainly eIDAS 2.0 in Europe. Second, technology, which is, mostly AI. And third, a whole new philosophy they're calling digital confidence.
And the mission for this deep dive is to unpack how those things actually fix our digital lives. So we need to talk about the European Digital Identity Wallet, this concept called perpetual KYC.
Sounds a little scary.
It does. And also how AI is becoming this trust accelerator.
And this is so important because it's not just about convenience. It's about a really fundamental flaw in how the internet was built.
A flaw in the internet itself.
Think about it. When they built the internet, it was for moving data, point A to point B. It was never designed with an identity layer.
There was no built-in way to prove you are who you say you are.
None. Which is why we spent 2 decades using these digital band-aids, passwords, security questions, emailing scans of our driver's licenses.
Just patching a leaky hull.
Exactly. What we're talking about today is a whole new hull.
So let's start with the most concrete part of that new hull. The European Digital Identity Wallet, or EUDI. The report talks about this shift from one-time verification to continuous orchestration. What does that actually mean?
Okay, so think about your physical wallet. You've got your ID, your credit cards, you control it, you decide who sees what.
Right. I pull out one specific card, I don't just hand the whole wallet over.
Exactly. The EUDI wallet is the digital version of that, but much, much smarter. It's a secure space on your phone, but instead of plastic, it holds something called verifiable credentials.
Okay, let's pause there. Verifiable credentials, or VCs. Is that just a fancy name for a PDF of my diploma? Because, I can Photoshop a PDF.
And that's the key difference. A PDF is just an image. A verifiable credential is data. It's a tamper-proof, cryptographically secure statement. It's a piece of code digitally signed by, say, the university that issued it.
So if I change one letter, the whole thing breaks.
The signature breaks.
If it's
valid, it's effectively impossible to fake.
Yeah.
And because it's standardized across Europe, you get cross-border interoperability.
Meaning my French wallet works in Spain.
You can open a bank account in Spain, rent a car in Germany, prove your age in Italy, all with the same wallet. It connects all these national systems that never used to talk to each other.
Okay, the convenience is obvious, but I have to ask the scary question. If I'm beaming my identity all over Europe from my phone, isn't that a privacy nightmare waiting to happen?
It's the #1 concern, and it's a valid one. But this is where the design is so smart. It's built on a principle called privacy by design. And the best way to explain it is the bar scenario.
I love this analogy. Let's hear it.
Okay, so, old world. You go to a bar, bouncer asks for ID, you hand over your driver's license.
And on that license is my full name, my exact address, my date of birth, my height.
You are giving a complete stranger a dossier of your personal data just to answer one simple question. Is this person over 18?
I'm oversharing just to get a beer.
Massively oversharing. Now, switch to the EUDI wallet. It uses a feature called selective disclosure. You tap your phone. The bar's scanner asks your wallet one question. Is the user over 18?
And my phone just checks my birth date internally.
Right, and it sends back a single cryptographically secure yes. That is it.
So the bouncer never sees my birthday. He definitely doesn't see my address.
The data never leaves your device.
Wow. Okay, so that's actually, it's a huge shift. It's counterintuitive, but being more digital means I can share less data.
That's it, exactly. You're moving identity away from these big company databases back into the hands of the user. You hold your own keys.
Okay, so if I'm holding all my own data and I'm just flashing a yes or no, how does a bank trust me? I mean, they need to know more than just, is he real? They need to know if I'm a risk.
And that is the perfect segue to the second pillar in this report, perpetual KYC.
Perpetual KYC, it sounds a bit ominous, like someone's constantly watching me.
It does sound a bit like that, but it's less surveillance and more. Dynamic risk management. Think of the old way, the snapshot. You sign up for a service, you upload your passport once, they check you, you're clean, you're in.
And once you're in, you're in.
Right. It's like the bouncer checking your ID at the door. No one checks it again once you're inside.
Yeah.
But your risk profile isn't static. You could get added to a sanctions list 5 minutes after you're approved.
And the bank wouldn't know for months.
Exactly. Perpetual KYC, or PKYC, flips that. It changes the snapshot into a movie. It uses AI and automation to constantly monitor public risk signals in real time.
So if I say suddenly appear on a government watch list.
The system flags it instantly. Or a more common example, your transaction behavior suddenly changes in a really suspicious way. The system adapts. It might trigger a re-verification.
There's a Gartner stat in the report from 2024 about this. The PKYC lets companies mitigate fraud without manual intervention.
And that phrase, without manual intervention, that's the holy grail. You can't have an army of people manually checking millions of customers every single day. It's impossible. Automation is the only way.
So compliance stops being this reactive panic, and it becomes a proactive, always-on shield.
It becomes what the report calls compliance intelligence.
Yeah.
It's no longer a cost center. It becomes a competitive advantage.
Because speed builds trust.
Totally. If Bank A onboards you in 30 seconds because their compliance is automated, and Bank B takes 3 days with manual reviews, who are you going to choose?
Bank A! Every single time. Okay, but to do this, to monitor millions of signals in real time, you need a pretty powerful engine.
You need AI, the invisible engine, as the report puts it.
The adoption numbers are pretty staggering. Large European companies using AI went from around 33% in 2023 to 41% in 2024, and they're projecting near 100% by 2030.
It really is a tipping point, but it's important to be clear what kind of AI we're talking about here. This isn't ChatGPT writing a poem.
Right, this is not generative AI.
No. This is detective AI. It's doing document verification, checking the security features on a digital ID. It's orchestrating fraud signals, connecting the dots between a login from one country and a weird transaction from another 5 minutes later.
But you can't just have a black box, right? Especially in banking. The computer can't just say denied with no explanation.
This is probably the most critical point they make about AI. It has to be responsible AI. And the key word there is explainability.
Because if my loan application is rejected, I have a legal right to know why. The regulators demand it.
Exactly. Under the EU AI Act, you can't just hide behind the algorithm. There has to be a clear, auditable trail. Why was this flagged? Was the photo blurry? Was there a font mismatch on the ID? You have to be able to explain the why.
So the AI isn't replacing the human. It's amplifying their judgment by presenting the evidence.
It's a tool to verify trust, not a substitute for it. If you can't explain its decisions, you can't use it. End of story.
Okay, so theory is great. Wallets, PKYC, explainable AI. But does this actually work? The report has some case studies I want to dig into.
The IBAN first one is probably the most dramatic.
That's the financial services company, right? Cross-border payments, the kind of thing that's usually incredibly slow to sign up for.
Horrifyingly slow. And that was their problem. Slow onboarding was killing them. Customers would just give up. So they brought in automated identity verification and embedded signatures.
And the result?
They took the processing time from 2 weeks down to 15 seconds.
I might say that again? 2 weeks?
To 15 seconds.
That's not just an improvement. That is a completely different reality.
And they can verify IDs from over 200 countries instantly. No human can do that, and AI can.
Okay, that's wild. What about something less digital, more physical? Like real estate. The report mentions Digit RE Group.
Real estate is the king of paper. Mandates, offers, contracts. My printer is jamming just thinking about it.
The worst. You sign, scan, email, they print, sign, scan it back to you.
So Digit RE went hard on remote electronic signatures, and they saw their digital signature adoption jump from just 5% to 35% really quickly.
35%. I mean, it doesn't sound as dramatic as 15 seconds.
For real estate, moving a third of your entire contract volume to digital is a revelation. Think of the printing costs, the courier costs, and more importantly, the audit trail.
Ah, right. You never lose a digital file in a messy folder somewhere.
Exactly. And you have a perfect, unchangeable record of who signed what and when.
And then there's Luca for HR. This one hits home for anyone who's ever filed an expense report.
The dreaded shoebox full of receipts.
Yes. Those little thermal paper things that just fade to blank if you look at them wrong.
Luca solved this using something called qualified electronic seals and timestamping.
Break that down for me. Qualified electronic seal.
Think of it like a company's official digital stamp. A signature is for a person. A seal is for a legal entity. It guarantees the document's origin and that it hasn't been altered.
So it proves this digital receipt is legit.
And because it's qualified, that's a specific high-level legal standard in the EU, it has the same legal value as the original piece of paper. You can scan the receipt, the system seals it, and you can throw the paper in the bin.
The digital version is the official record.
That's the dream.
Okay, but listening to all these examples, I'm hearing a theme. The signature tool has to talk to the ID tool, which has to talk to the archive. They all have to connect.
And you've just hit on the big meta topic of the whole report, interoperability. They call it the new competitive currency.
The problem of silos.
Exactly. For years, you'd buy one tool for signing, a different one for KYC, another for storage, and getting them to work together was a nightmare.
So the move is toward what they call composable architecture. Can you use the Lego analogy for that?
It's the perfect analogy. Instead of buying a pre-built castle, you buy the specific Lego blocks you need, and you snap them together using APIs.
So you build the exact trust stack your business needs.
You build a trust mesh, not isolated islands. Because if there's any friction between those steps, the whole system breaks down.
And this all leads to the final big idea, the European model of digital trust. The paper makes a clear distinction between how Europe is doing this versus other parts of the world.
It's a really interesting contrast. The argument is that while other regions might prioritize just speed or scale, the move fast and break things idea, Europe is building on a foundation of privacy, interoperability, and legal accountability.
With things like eIDAS 2.0 and the Data Act as the bedrock.
Correct. And a key concept here is sovereignty.
The idea that European data should stay in Europe, why is that so important?
It's about legal jurisdiction. The report mentions the U.S. Cloud Act, which can compel U.S. tech companies to hand over data, even if that data is stored on a server in, say, Germany.
And European companies are, understandably, not thrilled about that.
Not at all. So the European model is about creating a trusted ecosystem where European data is protected by European law.
So Signaturit's vision isn't just about selling software. It's about building this trusted infrastructure where the regulation isn't the enemy of technology, it's the enabler.
That's the key insight. They're leaning into the regulation, arguing that having clear, high standards for everyone actually makes the whole market safer and ultimately faster.
It's like a highway. The rules of the road, the speed limits, the lane markers, they don't slow you down. They're what allows everyone to drive fast without crashing.
That's a perfect way to put it. The trust is baked into the infrastructure itself.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this all up. We have three main pillars. There's reusable identity, which is the wallet.
Then there's intelligent automation. That's your PKYC and the AI engine.
And finally, interoperability, making sure all the Legos snap together.
And I think the big takeaway is that trust is no longer this soft, fuzzy concept. It's not a handshake. In 2026, trust is a programmable, automated asset that you can manage and deploy.
It's the engine that makes this seamless digital world possible.
And for anyone listening, whether you're in business or just trying to live your life online, it really does signal the end of that clunky, frustrating era.
Which is a relief. But before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought. We've talked a lot about AI and automation handling all this verification, deciding who's real, who's risky, who gets approved in 15 seconds.
It's incredibly efficient.
It is. But if the AI is handling the trust, deciding who gets the loan or the apartment, do we risk removing the human element of judgment, of context, or even mercy?
That's the tightrope we have to walk. The goal is for the technology to strengthen human judgment, not replace it. But proving that an AI is truly responsible isn't just a technical challenge, it's an ethical one.
Exactly. And keeping that balance, that's the next great challenge for all of us. Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.